I'm kind of don't really think I'll ever own my own standard house on a block of land. I think that's not going to happen. If I do, it's going to have to be a share housing. So it's the same situation basically, but I'd have to find someone who wants to get a loan with me, and that has its own problems as well. So I'm big in the tiny house movement, which I kind of fell in love with in I think 2008 was when I sort of first found out about them, and it's not just the fact that it's a movable house that can go anywhere that appeals to me. It's more the fact that it would be mine, number one. So I own my own house and home. But also the tiny space. I actually, to me, living in a 3-bedroom house is a nightmare. I want small, I don't want to spend my entire weekends cleaning an entire house. If it's smaller, cleaning is quicker. So, I have no problems living small. So it just seemed like a perfect solution for me because as far as I'm aware, really the only, I guess, real house you can get that small is a unit or an apartment. And I also hate those as well.
I mean, that's sort of, it's almost counterintuitive, and the government's pushing a lot of that to sort of get people into higher density, but they aren't looking, it literally is like forced sharing. There's a lot of stuff in there that just still doesn't work because they're not addressing the whole fabric of it. They're just piling more people in together. And it's no longer more affordable either. You struggle to find a unit that's not, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, which, and just me paraphrasing, I'd imagine your ownership issue is probably two parts, which is how do you raise a deposit, number one? So how do you get 20% of a big number? So if that's, say even 10%, but 20% of $500,000 is $100K. And then on top of that is serviceability. So quite often the banks will say, how much do you earn? How much can you put aside to pay for the mortgage? So on those two things, it's incredibly difficult by yourself to be able to pull together those amounts. I don't care who you are, and even if you're on massive wages, that would seem to be almost is that sort of why ownership is such a big boat to row?
Yeah, I mean, I started. So when I got my current job, it was kind of like the first job I got that paid well. So for the first time in my life, I got a normal wage, I guess you could say, one that allows you to live and to save a little bit. So I started properly saving money probably about 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, I had a savings goal, which I've almost reached. But 10 years ago, that amount of money that I'm saving was worth a lot more, as in now my goal, even though I've finally reached my goal, I kind of have to double it.
It's a very good point.
The price of everything has changed so much that, so it's kind of like, every time I reach the goalpost moves. And I'm like, oh. And so that makes it real difficult. So in terms of the tiny house thing, which is what I would love to build ideally, 10 years ago, I think I'd calculated what I wanted to save was about half of what it would cost. And nowadays, I just went to a tiny house expo, just to check it out, see what things are like. And now it seems that amount is more like a quarter of the price. So it's, unfortunately for me, that movement has gained in popularity quite a lot.